Hi friends, this is me Harshita here. In this video, let us learn about schizophrenia. I'll tell about the most important and the must-know points regarding schizophrenia. Coming to the schizophrenia, you should know about the three important persons. That is Eugen Bleuler, who gave who gives the primary symptoms which are famous as 4 A's of Bleuler. These are the primary symptoms according to him. The first one being the abnormal association, autistic behavior and thinking, abnormal affect, and ambivalence. So abnormal association is the thought disorder, that is there is no association between the consecutive thoughts, so this is the losing of association. Then autistic behavior and thinking means the person would be more withdrawn into self, like withdrawal into self. Abnormal affect it in terms of flat affect, or the affect is inappropriate to the situation, like so inappropriate affect. Next is ambivalence. So ambivalence is inability to decide to go for it or do not go for it. Like when the person is asked to give a handshake, he is ambivalent about whether should I shake the hand with the opposite person or should I not. So inability to decide for or against. For or against. So this is about the Eugen Bleuler, 4 A's of Eugen Bleuler. Coming to the next person which you should know is Emil Kraepelin. Emil Kraepelin, he called this schizophrenia then by the name dementia praecox. And you should also know that he is a person who called bipolar as manic depressive psychosis. His naming for schizophrenia as dementia praecox and for bipolar as manic depressive psychosis was actually based on the prognosis and the course of the illness, the long term prognosis and course of the illness. So this is about Emil Kraepelin. And the next person you should know is the Schrader, Kurt Schrader. Kurt Schrader gave the first rank symptoms of schizophrenia. First rank symptoms. So let us learn the first rank symptoms one by one. The first one being the first rank symptoms can be learned as in clusters. That is three auditory phenomena, three thought phenomena, three made phenomena, and the additional symptoms. The three auditory phenomena includes the person can hear his own thoughts, what he is thinking, he is hearing the same. So that is audible thoughts. Or it can be like people commenting about his action, about his every move. So that is commenting, voices commenting. Or he can hear voices which are arguing among themselves or discussing among themselves. So most of the time these auditory content will be with regards to the person himself. There will be the voices will be talking about him, plotting plans against him. So everything will be surrounding around him. So this is about the three auditory phenomena. Coming to the three thought phenomena. The three thought phenomena are thought insertion. So thought insertion is when the person feels that this is not my thought, this thought is inserted by some external agent. So this is thought insertion. And thought withdrawal is the person feels that whatever he is thinking, those thoughts are withdrawn by or taken out from his mind from external agent. So that is thought withdrawal. Next is thought broadcast. Thought broadcast is wherein the person feels whatever he thinks, other people around are also getting to know about what is going on in his mind. He attributes that this can be due to some any telepathy or some external from chip that is inserted, etc. So however, he says that my thoughts are being broadcasted to the surrounding people. Next is three made phenomena, that is first one is made affect. That is what the person is feeling is is not his feeling, but it is from other external agent which is imposing him a certain feeling. Next is made impulse. That is any impulse to do certain action is not by the person himself, but it is from the external agent. This is his belief. Then is made volition. So particular action which the person does, like complex action which the person does, is not from within, but it is a made volition, made act. So this is just an impulse, but this is a complex, like this is an act, and affect is the feeling, made feeling. So then the additional one are the two things. One is somatic passivity. Somatic passivity. Somatic passivity is a tactile or visceral hallucination that is imposed by some external agent. So this is somatic passivity. Coming to the next one, that is the delusional perception. Delusional perception, here the person gets a normal perception, but he adds a delusional meaning to the perception. So a perception that to which a meaning is added to the a delusional interpretation of the normal perception is known as delusional perception. For example, when we see the red light in the traffic signal, we understand that this is to stop the vehicle currently, but the person with the schizophrenia may end up thinking that the red signal, he perceives the red signal as a red signal, so the perception is normal, but he adds a delusional component to it, saying this is an indication of something bad happening, this is an indication of my enemy is sending signals that I have danger, etc., etc. So this is about the we learnt about the first rank symptoms: 3 auditory phenomena, 3 thought phenomena, 3 made phenomena, and 2 additional symptoms, that is somatic passivity and the delusional perception. And the somatic passivity is the tactile or the visceral hallucination that the person attributes to some external agent. For example, he feels the burning sensation currently I am feeling in my hand is due to the signals from the aliens being sent. So, this can be his attribution of his tactile or visceral hallucination to external agent. Okay. So, this is about the first rank symptoms. Coming to the next part, that is the schizophrenia is diagnosed based on ICD-10 or DSM-5. So, let us learn what according to ICD-10 is schizophrenia, and also what according to DSM-5 is schizophrenia. Both together are very much similar in terms of schizophrenia, but they differ in only few points which we'll learn. So, coming to the ICD-10, it lists the diagnostic criteria under the subheading of A to D criteria, E to H criteria, and I criteria. So let's understand what is under each of this criteria. A is the thought phenomenons. The thought phenomenons can be thought echo, thought insertion, thought withdrawal, thought broadcast. And B is the delusion. Delusion being delusion of control, delusion of influence. So, delusion of control and delusion of influence of what? Of either the thoughts or the limb movements or their actions. So, this is the A criteria, thought phenomenon. B is the delusion, and the C is the hallucination. Hallucination, that is hallucinatory voices. It can be discussing type or it can be commentary. And this delusion also include delusional perception, which has been discussed in the first rank symptom. So, A, B, C over, then D is the persistent delusions of other kind. Here we have listed control, influence and delusional perception. Other than that, if there is any kind of delusion, so this is under the D criteria, persistent delusion of other kind. So, persistent delusion of other kind, this can be of anything like religious, political identity, very religious, or he believes he has a political identity, or he has a superhuman powers, or he can control weather, or like he can communicate with aliens. So these are the things which comes under the persistent delusion of other kind. And coming to the next, that is E criteria, that is the persistent hallucinations of any other modality. Usually the persistent hallucination of any other modality should be accompanied by either fleeting or half-formed delusion, half-formed delusion, or persistent overvalued idea. So this is E criteria. Coming to the F criteria, it is the this is the train of thoughts. Okay, so this train of thoughts, if there is any break in the train of thoughts, this would result in incoherent, irrelevant speech and irrelevant speech. So this is the F criteria. Coming to the next, that is G criteria. It is the catatonic behaviors. H is the negative symptom. And I is the significant change in the overall quality of some aspect of the personal behavior that can be manifested in terms of loss of interest, aimlessness or idleness. So a self-absorbed attitude, that is social withdrawal, all are same. So this is with regards to ICD-10 diagnostic criteria of the schizophrenia. That is, first is the thought phenomenon, and the second one is the delusion, and third one is the hallucinatory voices, and the fourth one is the persistent delusion of other kind, and the fifth one is the persistent hallucination of other modalities with either half formed or fleeting delusions or persistent overvalued ideas. Next, there is the F criteria. It is the break in the continuity, break in the train of thought. And G is the catatonic behavior. H is the negative symptom, and I is the loss of interest, aimlessness, idleness, social withdrawal, and like self-absorbed behavior, that is a significant and consistent change in the quality of life. So these are the criteria which has been listed. And how to diagnose this? According to ICD, it is 1 month of active symptoms which include one in at least one in A to D, or at least two symptom in E to H. Remember, E to H, not E to I, because this I, if it is for more than 1 year, the diagnosis of simple schizophrenia is made. So according to ICD-10, it is at least one symptom among the A to D, or at least two symptom in E to H, or if it is I, it should be for 1 year, or else it is for 1 month. This is also for 1 month, 1 month of active symptom. So this is what makes it different from the DSM-5. According to DSM-5, the symptoms should be 6 months duration, and this in that 6 months, 1 month should be active symptom. And according to DSM-5, the symptom should be severe enough to disrupt the normal functioning. In terms of self-care, work, it be it self-care, work, or interpersonal relationship, So this disruption should be such that the person is now no longer able to function among these domains like before the illness. So that is one. And in both both DSM-5 and ICD-10, wants us to rule out any mood disorder, rule out bipolar, schizoaffective, before making a diagnosis of schizophrenia. And we have to rule out if there is any substance induced change in the behavior. So substance use should be ruled out. And we should make sure that this condition, the present symptomatology which the person is presenting, is not due to any other comorbid medical condition. So these are the things we should keep in mind. So now that we have learned the diagnostic criteria according to ICD-10, and also the few of the changes in terms of DSM-5, and what is common in both DSM-5 and ICD-10 is that we have to rule out mood disorder, substance use, and medical condition. So there is one more thing currently, that is the 5-factor model. 5-factor model. According to the 5-factor model, the symptoms of a schizophrenia are divided into 5 different forms. So the first one is the psychotic symptoms, psychotic spectrum, psychotic symptoms. So psychotic symptoms, that is the delusions, hallucination, are under psychotic symptoms. And the next one is the disorganization symptom. So disorganized symptoms means the disorganization can be in thought. The thought is disorganized, and their speech can be disorganized, so disorganized speech, and their behavior can be disorganized, so disorganized behavior, and disorganized thoughts, speech, behavior, and disorganized affect. So these are the disorganization symptom. Next is the negative symptom. Negative symptom, negative symptom, the most common is anhedonia, avolition, affective blunting, elogia, asociality. Coming to the next one is the depression and anxiety symptom. And the next one is the agitation symptom. So according to the 5-factor model, these are the 5 factors, or these are the 5 domains under which the symptoms can be classified. So delusion, you all know, that is a false, firm, unshakable belief which is not appropriate to the cultural beliefs of the person, and it is held with extreme degree of conviction. And hallucination is the perception without the stimulus being present. It can occur in all the 5 sensory modalities. And coming to disorganized thought, the thought is bizarre. The thought is not it can be it can be not coherent. That can be neologism, word salad, etc. So always the thought, if the thought is disorganized, the speech would be affected. And disorganized behavior when the person does all the bizarre behaviors which is not appropriate to the situation. And affect is the subject affect is uh, the cross sectional mode, we can say. So that is the effect. And coming to the negative symptom, this you should know that the negative symptom, anhedonia. Anhedonia is a loss of ability to find that pleasure from the previous activities which is pleasurable. So this we should not confuse with the depression. Even the depression has anhedonia, but this is also the negative symptom of the schizophrenia. That is loss of ability to derive pleasure from either activities or relationship. Next is evolution. Evolution is inability to initiate and also the inability to maintain or persist in a goal directed activity. To initiate and persist in any work. So in work or like goal directed activities. Then is affective flattening. Affective flattening is wherein the person doesn't have that ability to understand or recognize the emotions of others, and also is not able to express his emotion. So understand is also problem, and expressing is also problem. Expression is also problem. So this can be seen in terms of the unchanging facial expression, or the vocal inflections during the conversation is lost, or not able to make the eye contact, and there is very less expressive gestures, and there is no spontaneous talk. So these are the indicators of affective blunting. Coming to the elogia. Elogia is the decrease in the production of speech. So if a person has just this decreased production of speech, it implies that there is decreased production. There is decreased verbal cognition. Verbal cognition. Hence, we can say that elogia is a measure of verbal cognition. So it is more a negative thought disorder. It is not just a negative symptom, it is a negative thought disorder. Okay. Next is asociality. Here the asociality is a passive social withdrawal, not an active. This is a passive social withdrawal. The person feels indifferent towards a social relationship, and he doesn't have any drive to socialize. So one is that indifferent towards the relationship, and decrease drive to socialize. So this is the 5-factor model. So that is the psychotic, disorganized, negative, depression, anxiety, and agitative symptoms. You should know that the psychotic symptoms and the positive symptoms are not one and the same, because the psychotic symptoms include delusions, hallucination, whereas the positive symptoms include the psychotic symptoms, disorganization symptom, and agitation symptoms. So this is about the psychotic symptoms, positive symptoms, and the negative symptoms as already have been discussed. That is anhedonia, anhedonia, evolution, affective flattening, asociality, and alogia. So these are the negative symptoms. So hope this video helps you. Bye bye. Keep learning.